all Canadian families, we are on the Titanic. The iceberg hasn't hit yet, so we're not sinking. If we don't shift course, that iceberg is coming for us.
I'm not planning on leaving. I'm fighting. We want to make this country incredibly great.
We begin to see that it really isn't about diversity. It is about punishing the people who perform beyond the mean.
For people who don't care, where do you see Canada going?
Oh, it's catastrophic. It is that bad.
What is the carbon tax doing to lower carbon emissions?
Exactly.
I love this country. I was born in this country. I believe in what this country stands for. I believe in its people. I believe as a place opportunity for all to come and live, but the path that we're on is not working, and we are not going to be what we're supposed to be if we continue along this path.
Yeah.
Welcome to Citizen,
Hello,
everybody.
citizens.
Great to have you all. It's been a fun day today.
It really has been.
First off,
Weird.
Apologies for missing our day yesterday. We had several other work commitments we had to do.
Indeed we
so
did.
we're shifting a day, but we're still going at it.
I'm kind of glad we did, though, because this is really relevant today.
It worked out in our favor. It really worked out in our favor not doing a show yesterday.
Yep.
Because today is more about drama.
Yeah, big time. Like, could never have predicted this. This is crazy.
There's drama in the White House,
And it's developing very quickly.
which we knew would come with Trump, to
Yep.
be honest.
Yep.
But we'll get
Of
there in a
course.
second. If you don't know what's happening, what we're talking about, I would say the most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world have lost their bromance
Yeah.
and full on ugly divorce, fighting over the kids and
100%.
every aspect. Like, no, they're going back and forth pretty heavy today. Elon Musk and President Donald Trump. And so we're going to talk about that, maybe some implications it has with Canada. As we know, Carney and Trump are in deep talks about trade
Yep.
and the tariffs going around there. It was wow, to be honest.
I want to quickly do a quick tiny recap on our last episode. First of all, bumped into an American who bumped into our channel.
Okay.
Julie R286 said, I stumbled across your channel and I am from the US, but have always been interested in Canada. I lived in Canada when I was in my 20s. Anyways, I've subscribed and I'm anxious to hear what you guys are doing. Thank you for what you're doing. Good luck.
Cool.
Awesome to hear. The second comment below that, which I'm excited about. Oh man, my days. So glad King Charles is still the king of the pack. The dog.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Do you see the one that I sent you when you were driving
No.
to our conference? Remember I said check your phone?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like one of these pages I
didn't 'cause I
follow.
was driving.
Oh. It was one of these pages that I follow. It was like one of these guys who does like world news, huge channel, big
And
following.
he's on King Charles.
Yeah, and he was all about King Charles the dog on the dog.
The
pack,
dog.
so
I wonder if he's
there's lots of people.
famous
Another
than
comment.
The king.
King Charlie is not an authority in Canada. Oh no, that's a different.
That's a
king.
great place
The
to
real
start,
king.
though. Thanking people for following and
totally.
subscribing. We do appreciate it. We like what we do. It's fun. And knowing that there's some people out there who are supporting. So super cool that you guys have joined and watched.
Yep.
On that note, do not subscribe. Do not like.
Yep.
Do not comment. Don't do any of that.
I want to keep these at 0 views as much.
Exactly. We don't want the algorithms working in our favor. But if you supporting us, appreciate the support and all that.
Yep.
Hey, before we get to Trump-Musk, we'll talk about Carney Trump. We'll talk about Trump-Musk. I want to talk about the G7.
Yeah,
Let's just get
it's
that out of the
right
way.
on our doorstep.
We are located in Canada,
Yep.
in Western Canada,
Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta. I wasn't going to go that specific, but we're in Calgary, Alberta.
Is it?
I guess
Sure.
they know. And we have the G7 going to be in our backyard next week.
Yeah.
I believe. What's the
Kananaskis.
dates of it? It's going to be
June 15th?
June 15th,
15th
June
to
17th.
17th. Yeah, 2 days.
So that's going to be in the backyard. It's the 51st G7 Leaders Summit to set place in Kananaskis. First off, if you've never been to Canada, you need to come to Kananaskis and
gorgeous.
Banff area, the edge of the Rocky Mountains, absolutely stunning. So
Yep.
what a fantastic place it is.
Yesterday I was driving and as I was merging onto McLeod Trail, all of a sudden a police motorcycle came whipping through the intersection and then about 5 or 10 others. He cut me off, then he cut everybody else off,
Okay.
and then like 20 more went down the road.
Yeah.
And they just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. I was like, what is going on? And then about 25 police SUVs went by. I was like, what is going on? And then I realized they're probably training for the G7.
For sure.
And then about 8 black SUVs about a kilometer behind all that finally went just ripping through, and I was like, this is cool. So I rolled my window down. There's an officer standing right in front of my car having handout, and I said, you guys training for the G7? And he just nodded his head yes. And so it was impressive. It was crazy. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people reported on it.
Well, the increased presence of security,
Yeah, you can tell.
I'm sure military, right?
yeah, no
CSIS,
question, no
all
question.
that is going to be heavy
Everybody.
in this area. I know about 3 weeks ago or a month ago, I tried to book a golf tee time at Kananaskis Golf and Country Club. If you guys are golfers and you are looking for a good golf trip, Kananaskis, they got 36 amazing holes. It's wonderful golf. But they literally had the whole month decommissioned. You cannot book anything because they have the whole
For safety reasons.
a big perimeter in the Kananaskis region all shut down for safety of all the world leaders that are coming. So if you don't know what the G7 is, essentially these 7 nations from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and US, of course, US. Russia used to be a part of it, the G8, but no longer. And there's also some invited guest nations coming along too. So President Trump will be here. Obviously, Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, is the host. You'll be seeing also Germany's Chancellor, Prime Minister of Italy, Prime Minister of Japan, etc. Also some invited guest nations of Australia, Mexico, Ukraine. President Zelensky is going to be here as well. And
there's a lot that happened just recently, actually, with Ukraine and Russia. And so the Ukraine, sorry, I'm going to jump into this real quick because I want to make sure that we touch on it real quick. Ukraine did the major bombings on Russia and actually decommissioned a number of their planes.
Weren't they saying, wasn't Russia saying there was an assassination attempt on Putin from Ukraine?
I heard that. I haven't heard much more about that. I only
and that
heard
was
about that
part
once.
of the retaliation that Russia did, I thought.
Oh yeah, earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was, apparently this is one of the most sophisticated attacks that's happened in modern warfare, is what Ukraine did. And I actually have a video.
Is this the drone one?
Yeah.
Bring it up. It's crazy. It's worth talking
so
about.
I'll probably skip ahead through it a bunch because I want to make sure I show you. It's long, but I'll.
So these are like everyday drone type things, isn't it?
No.
Or are they
like
military
specially
drones?
designed.
Okay.
Specially designed.
Okay.
I'm just going to.
Then I misunderstood.
Screen capture, cast. Here
So
I got
somehow
it
they
here.
got it though behind enemy lines,
Well,
right?
this video shows you exactly how.
Okay.
It's crazy. So here it is. Bam.
Engineers designed a clever drone launching system disguised as ordinary wooden cabins mounted on the backs of cargo trucks.
Crazy.
These mobile containers looked like simple rural sheds, but inside they held reinforced structures, hidden launch platforms, battery charging stations, and remote-controlled roof mechanisms. The design allowed for drones to be launched either vertically or at an angle, depending on their type, while built-in signal shielding helped them avoid early detection by Russian surveillance. Once these mobile silos were ready, Ukrainian intelligence operatives, possibly with help from local sympathizers, moved them deep into Russian territory. The trucks were
really
quietly
deep.
driven to pre-selected sites near key air bases, parked in places like forests, farms, or industrial areas where they blended into the landscape. They remained dormant for days or even weeks, with drones preloaded, charged, and waiting for the command to strike. When the time came, encrypted activation signals were sent remotely. The roofs of the containers slid open and the drones lifted off, some vertically, others using ramps or compressed air launch systems for a silent start. Because the launch sites were positioned just a few kilometers around 2 miles from their targets,
Isn't that
the
crazy?
drones were able to reach their objectives quickly, leaving little time for Russian defenses to react. Operators guided them in real time using live video feeds, steering the drones with precision toward parked aircraft, fuel depots, and radar installations.
That's crazy.
Many of the drones carried
So anyway, he goes on and on and on. But it just goes to show. So these things sat there. Some of them sat there for many weeks.
Yeah.
And they designed these things to hold charges, battery charges, to sit there for weeks and weeks and weeks for the right moment. Part that was strategic was they took out a lot of the planes that have nuclear ability to drop bombs, and that's a big deal. Is because having equal power, I guess. I heard someone break down the fact that it's extremely important that Russia stays par with the U.S.'s capacity for dropping nuclear bombs. And so this apparently affects that in a very, very drastic way. So, and then what did follow after that was Trump and Putin had a phone call. And to put it like very quickly, Trump or Putin said that he will have to retaliate. And it was like nothing really Trump could say to that. Like, of course he's going to have to retaliate. So worried to see what that means. I hope that doesn't escalate things.
So that was called Operation Spiderweb. Is that what it was?
I guess so. I don't actually know.
Yeah, the coordinated drone assault on Russian air bases, that a substantial portion of their strategic bomber fleet. In response, Russia has launched retaliatory strikes, resulting in civilian casualties and raising concerns about this keeps escalating. This is crazy. This does keep escalating. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything of a de-escalation at any time. Like, what's it going to take?
So I'd be surprised if Zelensky comes to Canada?
Oh, he'll come. He's going everywhere.
It's crazy.
Are you kidding me? Like, you know how much money he extracted of the U.S. and other countries? He's nonstop. For sure he will.
Yeah, I guess he's on a marketing campaign, essentially.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the G7 happens, because there's a couple things that's going to be obviously talked about, which will segue into our Elon Musk, Donald Trump battle. But key themes that are obviously going to be talked about: climate action, because Mark Carney is all about that. We will talk in the future again about Alberta oil and gas. I've been working on a bit of a piece about how we've talked about this, how Alberta oil and gas not only is great for Canada economically, more than that, jobs, GDP, climate wise, there's also a massive argument to be made that Canada's oil and gas can help elevate the standard of the world in terms of how we try to make dirty energy cleaner, right? And I love what our buddy Tucker was saying, is that oil and gas industry is not against clean energy. It's just, it's not there. So, but what's one way to do that? You get Canada's abounding, get money in, and you help. So obviously Mark Carney hasn't said nothing about no more pipelines bill. He talks about decarbonizing oil and gas, which is a whole crazy thing. It's years and years and years in the making if they're going to do big national projects. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
It's good if there's a plan, I guess. That's a better way to put it. If there's actually a plan and it's going to be properly structured eventually to get there, I'm very curious.
But it might take a decade.
Yeah, maybe more.
And that also is going to be interesting to see how it plays out with Premier Danielle Smith, who's made demands with 6 months. Let's take down barriers of interprovincial trade. Yeah. Let's get our oil and to Tidewater ports, right, specifically in BC. Premier David Eby recently also stated not interested.
Stonewalled.
Yeah, like not interested, not at all. There's been obviously getting to the Arctic is tough because of all the ice as well, or the Arctic, Hudson's Bay, as it leads into the Arctic, tough as well. You know where Quebec stands. So that's not progressing. It doesn't look like anything that Mark Carney is doing is able to mend those relationships yet. So anyways, climate action is a big part of Mark Carney's platform, as you know that. This one, well, there's going to be digital governance and AI regulation, or at least discussing how do you do that, peace and security, typical stuff. But global economic stability. This is what I wanted to get to segue into Musk and Trump. Yeah. Because I'm not sure if you guys noticed today, but Tesla specifically, although it's one stock, world's wealthiest man.
Yeah.
Maybe he dropped off today. That stock dropped 18% in the second half of the day. Trading day, typical Mountain Time, 7:30 to 2. I think it was around 10 a.m. is when it first started to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It's insane. So one stock almost dropped 20%, 1/5 of its valuation.
Yeah, like from 3 at the high point. This is what, one day?
332 or something. It opened
320. 321 is a high today,
and 272 was its low, I believe. And
after right around there, 270. Yeah, around 272.
But then not just them, you look at the broader markets and you look at how the S&P 500, for you people who are traders or investors, you know that the S&P 500, which is the Standard & Poor's 500 biggest companies, or not biggest, but the companies that are on there, the Magnificent Seven, so the big 7 tech companies, which involve Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA. I'm missing 2 more, but there's a couple more in there. Microsoft, did I say Microsoft?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Facebook or Meta. Meta is a part of there, and there's one more. Anyways, they're so heavily weighted so that when you start having a feud between Elon Musk
it's huge.
And Donald Trump, and not to mention the amount of lack of stability there has been in terms of Donald Trump's tariff talk. There's tariffs, no more tariffs. 50% tariffs on the EU, we're going to bring that down. Tariffs for everybody on Liberation Day, we're actually going to pull it back to 10%. It's fluctuations heavily in the market, and maybe there's some method to the madness there. I'm not convinced of it anymore. I used to be, but I don't know if Trump is playing 4D chess or if he's just reacting to in real time to like chaos.
Yeah, I don't know, because he also did a bunch of travel bans too. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
To a whole bunch of countries. And the one country...
Today, recently?
Yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I'm just going to get the list here in front of me. I just got it here. On June 4th, so yeah, it was yesterday. Donald Trump signed new executive orders restraining the expanding U.S. travel ban effective June 9th at 12:01 to the countries Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of Congo, Guinea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen. Yeah. And Saudi Arabia wasn't included in that for obvious reasons for the previous deal he just did. And so there's a lot of criticism.
What's the criticism on that? Like most of those countries,
they're saying they're trying to figure out what reasons he's doing that for, and they think if it's for, I guess they don't know. They don't know why he did it.
Like I wouldn't want to go to any of those countries right now.
Yeah,
because there's so much issues when it comes to either genocide, terrorism, tribal disputes. Like you look at all those. Like who'd you mention? Somalia, Chad. What else was on there?
Republic of Congo,
yeah.
Guinea,
I'm not sure about
Eritrea,
okay.
Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan,
Iran,
and
obviously
Yemen.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
Somalia, Libya, same things. Interesting. So let's talk through the events that led up to Trump and Musk, because if you don't know, Trump and Musk were essentially in the best bromance in the world, right?
For sure they were. Yeah,
Trump has to thank Elon Musk.
No
Elon
question.
Musk definitely helped the pathway for Trump to get in. Trump is Trump on his own, but you even go back to what Elon Musk did with the purchasing of X, right? And
it changed everything.
It changed the game.
Yep.
We know there was suppression. We know that formerly X under Jack Dorsey, there was like, look at all the things that happened with Hunter Biden's laptop and all this massive information that was for sure suppressed that the public was not knowing about. And you have to keep in mind, Twitter, I like calling Twitter still, is the public soapbox, so to speak. It is the public avenue by which people converse.
Yeah.
It is the biggest platform for that open dialogue conversation. So it does have a massive impact on how people think and vote. So that's a big part of it. Obviously, his endorsements with them
he
going
also
through.
Unblocked Trump when he bought it. That was a big
That's
one
right.
too.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Trump was banned.
Yeah, completely
The
banned.
former president at that time had his accounts permanently suspended.
That's a huge deal. You know what I mean? They gave him that voice.
What are we living in?
I know.
The president of the United States isn't allowed on.
It's funny, man. Hilarious. So there's been drama, some serious drama. It all started, it sounds like, with the passing of the bill.
The BBB.
Yeah, the big bill.
Trump, the big, beautiful bill. That's the name that Trump gave it. So on June 3rd, a couple of days ago, today's Thursday, so that was Tuesday, Musk publicly denounced this bill. And it was, the language was like
strong,
very strong. I think he called it a disgusting abomination.
Yeah.
And urging Americans to oppose it because of the amount of spending that's in it, right?
Well, and keep in mind too, he was a part of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and I think they actually found roughly $2 trillion of cuts, right?
I think, or was it their goal? I'm not sure if they hit their goal.
Yeah, I don't know if they hit that or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was the target. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but that was the whole idea, and so apparently
it's to cut government waste and spending,
and this apparently just doubles down on it. Yeah.
And then so it was Tuesday. Yesterday, Wednesday, Musk intensifies his criticism of it by calling it a debt slavery bill and calls for its rejection.
Wow.
And then on today, it's kind of where it started, around 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Trump expressed disappointment in Musk during an Oval Office statement, suggesting their relationship has started to sour. And then Musk responded on X with a sarcastic post calling it the slim, beautiful bill for the win. Slim, beautiful bill for the win.
Yeah, it doesn't help him to call it the big, beautiful. I got a quick graphic here that we can maybe just throw to you. One that's,
this is the boxing match. This is really how this feud should end. Like, this is what everyone wants to see.
Yeah, they actually get in the arena.
Everyone's sitting back just with their popcorn in hand, watching two of the arguably most powerful men in the world going at it.
Yeah, for sure they are. They both are right now.
Yeah, so this is what Musk said. "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination."
Yeah, and he criticized the congressman that passed it.
That's
saying they knew what they did,
and then called out the Speaker of the House. Yeah, saying it was passed at overnight or something, so people couldn't actually see it.
Yeah.
And then Musk refuted Trump's claim, stating his involvement in drafting the bill, stating, "False. This bill was never shown to me even once, and it was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it." So that was Musk stating it. Then Musk initiated a poll on X. You see this today?
No.
Saying, "Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the middle 80%? So Screw the Democrats. Get rid of the Republicans. Let's get a third party that actually represents.
Wow.
For sure, as of now, there's over 1 million people that have voted. When I looked, there's over 800,000. And about 80% have voted yes.
Yeah.
And then Trump goes to Truth Social.
Yep.
Because he's not, I think he...
No, it's still there. I saw it. His
no, but on X, so I think
I went
Trump's-
on X. His account's still there.
We did, okay. So then he accusing Musk of going crazy and basically said that Musk went crazy because he's removing the EV mandates, electric vehicle mandates for Tesla, and to terminate some government contracts and all that stuff.
Elon denied that was the reason and actually sloughed it off saying he doesn't care. He then said that he's going to kill his... Oh, yeah, because there was a funding that stopped funding for the ISS, right?
Yep.
The International Space Station.
Well, that's part of Trump's threat.
Yes.
Was that we'll cut all of Tesla's funding, or sorry, SpaceX's funding,
that's what it was.
which is billions, in between
Billions,
15 and 20
yeah.
billion dollars. But you have to also understand SpaceX is the leading space company.
Yeah.
It's surpassed NASA for sure.
Well, I don't even think NASA's operating. I think they're in cooperation with SpaceX.
Maybe. I need to look into that a bit more. If you guys know in the comments, let us know, does NASA, are they still viable? Are they still rolling? Or are they relying? Because SpaceX had to go save those astronauts.
Yeah.
Elon did. Remember that. Elon saved those astronauts with his company that were stuck up there for, how long were they stuck up there for?
Time.
And also, I think the
6
maintenance
months,
of the ISS, that's what you're saying. The maintenance and all that stuff is essentially on SpaceX's responsibility.
Yep.
So that's a big deal. Then Elon starts saying things like, without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and Republicans would be in a 51-49. I don't know if I definitely had a major part to play. I think Trump won the election when that assassination attempt.
Oh, yeah.
That ignited everything.
And then, but don't forget the bomb that Elon dropped.
And then Elon goes, such ingratitude. And then he says, time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump, he is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason why they have not made that public.
That's big. Like, what does that mean?
That's nuclear.
That is nuclear. Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, this is wild.
So I think there's more below the surface. And then he says, mark this post, the truth will come out.
Crazy.
So obviously Rift.
Yeah.
That's developed, starting what seems to be like, I can't see Musk going this angry
For
over
no reason.
a bill unless they both have got egos. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Trump's got an ego.
Tremendous.
Musk has got an ego. We all have egos to a certain extent, but they're big. I remember what Leon telling us, easiest way to control Donald Trump is going after his ego.
Yeah, for sure.
Any man with that type of thing, you go after
question.
in terms of you'll get a retaliation or you'll be able to control to a certain extent. So, but you also, I'll try to play both sides here. The way I see it is you have Musk who put all of his responsibilities to his own companies secondary to the American people and to the government to come up and help Donald Trump with DOGE, Department of Governmental Efficiency.
Can't speak.
To cut spending. That was the pure point of it. Find waste, cut spending, which they were doing. Trump praised them, no doubt about that. And I'm assuming Musk feels stabbed in the back, turned on very quick.
Absolutely.
But the two men are saying very different things.
Very, very.
Somebody is lying, or actually probably the truth is somewhere in the middle, right?
Totally.
It's typically how it goes. So the reason I want to bring that up, because that does not help the world's fiscal stability, right? When you have America touting tariffs, you have Trump. Right now, Carney and Trump are deep in negotiations for what our trade is going to look like with Canada. You have Musk, who has got 4 or 5 companies that are trying to solve world problems. And you look at Tesla, you look at SpaceX, you look at XAI, the list goes on with what he's doing. Like these are massive pieces of influence when it comes to moving the fiscal needle, not just in the country, but in the world. Yep. The world revolves around the U.S. And anyways, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. It's
totally crazy. And we only have 3 minutes left here. And so there's a bit of a curveball. But we'll keep that developed. I think we'll stay on top of that for our social media. So make sure you follow us on Instagram if you kind of want play-by-play to see how this plays out over the weekend. Make sure you stay in touch there. Did you hear about what happened with these people who tried to smuggle in a certain bacteria into the U.S. from the CPP connections? So from the Communist Party of China?
Yeah.
Totally changing.
Subject change. Gotcha.
Because we only got 2 minutes here, so I wanted to get this out. I'll play this video. It's crazy. So watch this.
have just confirmed that they have arrested 2 Chinese scientists attempting to smuggle a dangerous biological weapon into the United States. If hypothetically this pathogen was let loose, it has the ability to cause mass poisonings and millions of dollars in damage across America. So here's what we know. Reports say that the Chinese couple attempted to smuggle a fungus called Fusarium graminearum into the United States, which sounds like a freaking Harry Potter spell. It's described in scientific literature as a potential agroterrorism weapon. The pathogen infects crops, wheat, barley, oats, and corn, causing a disease called head blight. And it is so lethal that it can wipe out entire to poisonings and cause liver damage if the infected food is eaten by humans. US authorities said that this is one of the gravest national security concerns. But the whole situation gets even crazier when you dig deeper into who these 2 Chinese nationals are.
What, we're frozen here.
Research on the fungus at a university in China, receiving funding from the Chinese government. They were allegedly planning to continue this research on the fungus at Michigan University. The FBI stated that the evidence indicates that they have direct ties to the CCP. They have now been charged with conspiracy, smuggling, and... But what do you think? Was this in fact a failed CCP operation, or just 2 Chinese researchers caught right in the middle of a US and China beef?
Crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Isn't that nuts?
My gosh,
That's
man. Why did you bring that up at a minute left? We got so much to talk about on that. If you guys, as you're watching on
Maybe
YouTube,
we'll record a social media clip right after this.
What do you guys know about that? If you know anything, ever heard about it, no doubt the CCP are nonstop infiltrating countries. They are, and we know that. We've seen that in Canada with the Chinese police stations that have literally been set up in Burnaby and Vancouver area. We've seen that. We've seen their direct attacks on MPs or MLAs running for parliament. Literally, other men saying, bring this guy into the Chinese embassy. Like, they go after, no problem. They try to infiltrate. That doesn't surprise me.
We're going to record a social media clip that will be posted to our socials if you want more about that right now. So make sure you follow us on that. Thank you guys for watching. Stay connected. Comment below. We love going through your comments. And let us know where you think we got it wrong. What's your thoughts with Elon and Trump? What do you think is going to happen? And
how's it going to end? You want to see the boxing match? Let's see the boxing match.
Let's build one on AI. I'd love
Who's the more powerful man, Musk or Trump? We're going to find out. Might weaken his position. See y'all later.